Now we're going to shift gears to Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers earlier last week had some comments on the younger receivers that many fans will probably object to. They're like, oh boy, here we go. After he takes this massive extension, saying the young guys, especially young receivers, we've got to be way more consistent. Talking about drops, talking about running the wrong route, a lot of bad route decisions. We just got to be better in that area. And this was following a penalty-filled joint practice with the Saints that included a drop on a wide open ball for Romeo Doubs. Now, my question for you is the Packers' title window closed? Or, in a way, could this season revitalize and restore the hopes that were once there for Green Bay?
So before I get to that, I do want to say he also did say, like, when asked if those comments were about uh is his last name Dubes? Is that his last name,
We'll
the
go with
receiver?
Doubs. You could say
Or just
Dubs. Some people think it's Dubs, Doubs.
Doubs?
Football
Okay.
reference doesn't say.
All right. So when if asked if those comments were about Doubs' drop, he said, quote, not necessarily. And he also mentioned the second year wide receiver Amari or Rodgers, ran the wrong route on Jordan Love's third interception versus the 49ers. I just want to comment before I get to what I think about the Packers this season. With Aaron Rodgers, right? I've had a weird and interesting relationship with Aaron Rodgers since I've become a football fan, and it stems from me being a Patriots and a huge Tom Brady fan. So for the last decade plus, I have heard nothing but Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback of all time. From a talent perspective, Aaron Rodgers is the best. Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that. Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is this, Aaron Rodgers is that. And I just pointed to. Eventually, I just got fed up with it, and I was just like, and it's it. You'll hear me talk about it. I've talked about it before, and I'll talk about it. Till I'm blue in the face. Don't fall in love with the talent. The talent might blind you, and you'll be like, "Oh, look at this gaudy stuff. Look at the angles on his arms. Look at the throws he's making. Oh my God, they're beautiful. This and that." Listen, Peyton Manning didn't have beautiful arm, and Peyton Manning is inarguably a top three quarterback of all time. And we saw he was throwing duck passes like it was nobody's business. All right, I think his oh God, which record was it? It was either the single season touchdown record or the career all time touchdown record to Demaryius Thomas. That throw. Go back and look at that throw in the front corner of the right side of the end zone. His pass to Demaryius Thomas. That ball was spinning like crazy and crazy, and Demaryius Thomas just caught it with his hands. The talent will expose you. Is the talent indicative of winning? That's what I will always ask you. And you'll come back and say, Brandon, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's not indicative of winning. Because look at Aaron Rodgers' playoff record. Look at how he has performed in the postseason. It's not up to greatest talent in the quarterback position of all time standards. It's not. And when you're going to compare him to Tom Brady, well, then you best come correct because there's no comparison. Now I'm going to move into the interesting and weird relationship I got with Aaron Rodgers because over the last couple of years, I've actually started to like Aaron Rodgers a lot. I've started to kind of become an Aaron Rodgers defender mostly because the talks have died down about Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. Those talks started to die down because everybody saw what you needed to see. That because then it became the new thing is Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. Now it's Tom Brady versus Josh Allen. When none of these guys compare to Tom Brady, stop mentioning them with Tom Brady. But I started to like Aaron Rodgers and defend Aaron Rodgers a lot more. Now, one thing I've always hated about Aaron Rodgers, though, is this passive aggressive prima donna type attitude. Yes, it's very LeBron-esque, if I do say so myself. Like I say, Tom Brady is more of a Michael Jordan. Where when I say that, when I compare those two, MJ and Tom, they say it directly to your face. They might scream and swear at you and cuss you out, but they're going to do it straight to your face. Doesn't matter if it's on live on camera during a game or it's in practice when nobody's watching. They're going to do it to your face. Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James are passive aggressive. It's the body language. It's the shrug shoulders. It's the turning the head's down. It's the eye rolling when the receiver runs the wrong route or he drops the pass. It's the calling the teammates out publicly. You don't do that. You don't call your teammates out publicly, especially when you are the leader of the team. You handle that behind closed doors. This is a private matter. Don't air out your dirty laundry. I hate that. If you're a teammate with somebody, you're about to go to war with them. Basically, is what they consider is you're going to war with them. These are my guys versus your guys. It's us against you, us against them. And you're gonna call your boys out publicly and say they're making mistakes. Why don't you do that behind closed doors? Call him in. Now he did after the fact, I believe, or even if he did before the fact, then leave it behind closed doors. Why are you telling the media? now it's a subject, now it's a topic. Everybody's talking about it. And now you look bad, Aaron Rodgers. It's not a good look. You have to stop with this passive aggressiveness. Face to face is how leaders are made. Why do you think MJ and Tom Brady are considered the greatest leaders? And they are not considered, they are the greatest winners of all time. It's because they handled it face to face and behind closed doors. Now, now that I got that out of the way, to the Green Bay Packers and what I think of this season, what you said, the title window isn't closed. Listen, when you got Aaron Rodgers, the title window is open. For me, he's still the second best quarterback in the league. So if that's the case, the title window's open. Yes, Devontae's gone. The team is relatively still similar. I think they lost a couple of other key players. I can't name them
They
off the
get
top of my
David
head.
Bakhtiari back and Elton Jenkins at the tackle
They do got
spots.
some players coming back. I feel like, did they lose to Darius Smith this season, or was that last season?
Yeah, Zadarius Smith, he was only playing one game for them last year, but he's
Okay.
now at a division rival on the edge in Minnesota.
Yeah, now he's gone. So they've lost some key players, but they still have really. I mean, that defense is still very good. Jair Alexander. I'm
Be
forgetting
healthy.
one of the safeties' names off the top of my head is very good. I can't think of it. But I'm drawing a blank on their defense now. But I know that they have a very solid defense.
Adrian Amos, were you thinking of they retained? Darnell Savage, those are their two
Yes,
starters.
both of them. They have thank you. They have a very good tandem safety duo, and I know their front line is still pretty good too, even though I'm blanking on all their names. But yeah, and like you said, Bakhtiari's back. The O line should be healthy this season. Aaron Jones is still there. Tanyan's coming back. Uh, uh, what's his name? AJ Dillon, who you're very high on, John,
Love him.
is going to be there as the backup running back, and I think you think is going to probably take over as the starting running back maybe later this season. But I say, listen, the receivers might be a little bit of a weakness, but Aaron Rodgers, you're considered the most talented quarterback of all time. That's what I hear all the time, right? I listen to First Take. I hear Stephen A. Smith say this is the greatest talent at a quarterback position I have ever seen. He's a bad man. Well, if you're a bad man, go take a bunch of go take a bunch of no name receivers really and make them better, because that's what Tom Brady did basically his whole career. Go look at Drew Brees. Marquise Colston was a late round draft pick if he wasn't undrafted. He made him a Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver. Jimmy Graham wasn't very highly touted coming out. What did Jimmy Graham was fighting Rob Gronkowski as the best tight end in football for some years. The great quarterbacks create talent. Aaron Rodgers, you've been gifted. Nobody wants to talk about this since day one. You have been gifted an elite level of receiver play and tight end. Jermichael Finley was a Pro Bowl caliber tight end for those couple of years when Rodgers was playing with him. Go look at his first 2 years. He had 5 basically number one wide receivers, maybe at some point in there. All right, I won't say number one. 5 Pro Bowl caliber receivers at one point in his career. for those his first 2 starting years. He's been dealt a great hand. Now you don't have that anymore. Now it's Alan Lazard as your number 1, basically. Sammy Watkins, Randall Cobb, and then you got the rookies. One of them I'm very high on. I think it's Christian Watson, if I'm not mistaken. That
Out of North Dakota State.
yeah, he's like
Bigger
6'3". He
receiver,
runs like a
speed.
4. Yeah, he's fat. So him I'm high on. So Aaron Rodgers, make these guys now. If you're that guy, be that guy.